Yeah. Hi, this is Chris Eymann,
Tracy Royce,
Luke Rotvold,
and this is the Red Room. Tracy, Luke, and I jump on every week to talk about real estate, acquisition,
a lot of fix and flip,
and design,
dispositions,
Airbnbs,
financial independence, retire early.
We always have a new guest every single week.
We're going to have a lot of fun, all right?
So if you're interested in any or all of those, make sure to join us on the Red Room podcast.
And subscribe to the Red Room.
Share it with your friends or join us on the Phoenix RIA Facebook. And voila, we're back after
there we go.
Love it.
Some vacations. Hopefully everybody had a good July. We were just kind of running around. I definitely did a nice 10-day trip and then a couple little 3-day weekends here and there. So
Same. You know, it was a good time to get out of Arizona, though. That's for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why people leave Phoenix in the summertime.
Because we melt.
Exactly.
Yeah. Should not sustain human life here during July.
Agreed.
So Tracy mentioned this a little bit offline, and I'm gonna start with that, and that is we're down to like 23,500 actives. So I think from like March 1st through end of June, I kept saying 25,000, 25,000, 25,000. And that was every week. And you wouldn't expect the beginning of August or the end of July to have inventory tick down. So that's kind of interesting.
Hey, Luke, can you mute yourself? I think we're getting some feedback.
Yeah. There you
Chris,
go.
do you want to say that again, Chris?
Yeah. So I was just talking about, hey, from March 1 all the way to, I think, end of June, I kept saying every week, 25,000, 25,000, 25,800, 25,002. Like it was just a repeat and it was kind of boring, but like end of July, early August, we dipped to like 23,500 actives. Not something I would have picked out. I would have thought it might have ticked up a little bit late July, early August, but you were mentioning that someone reached out to you and said it seems like there's more activity.
Yeah, I've, talking to local agents, and my flip school students, they're getting stuff under contract. They're seeing more offers coming in and different conversations, different people, but they said it within the same amount of time. So I'd be interested if anyone listening to this is kind of seeing the same thing. And I don't think it's just the less inventory. I think that buyers are coming back online as well, which is really interesting given the state of interest rates, if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, interest rates. I mean, the 10 years at like 4.6. So interest rates have to be like right at 7 or maybe slightly above 7. I don't have any reason to like look, but with the 10-year being at 4.6, it can't be look great for interest rates right now. Definitely not the 6% or slightly under 6% that we had February of this year. So.
Luke, what are you seeing activity wise?
I mean, we had a pretty good July, to be honest. That doesn't usually go that way, as we all know. Usually the summers come and it's extremely stagnant and slow. I don't know if maybe it was just kind of a hangover from obviously not having a great, I don't think anyone really had a great spring, which is not normal for us. And so I think with spring being really slow, we ended up having some, a decent amount of pickup in the summertime. So again, I don't know if that's not really normal at all, but we definitely had more properties go under contract this summer than we have had in previous years by quite a bit, to be honest. So I mean, you're still getting this. You're still getting the buyers that need concessions. You're still getting the buyers that. I mean, I can't tell you how many times we've also gone under contract and then it's fallen through as well. So it's like, that's still happening for us at least, regularly, unfortunately. But definitely saw a pretty solid uptick in business this past summer.
That's meaningful.
Yeah.
Cool. So this episode, we're going to jump into a little bit of foreclosures. Luke, can you?
Oh, one thing I will say though that I just thought of though is that majority of the people that were buying from us, they were investors.
Mm.
They were investors, or they were buying like second homes and Airbnbs and stuff like that. So, I think we did sell four Airbnb properties over the summer, and then we two of them were just long-term investors who were looking to add a couple doors.
Cool.
So I mean, we didn't sell a ton to homeowners that where that's going to be their primary residence.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I'm sure
So-
that conversation changes too, depending on what price point the audience is listening in, right? If you're selling a $350,000 home, it's going to be a very different piece of feedback than if you're selling a $3.5 million home.
Yes, for
Different,
sure. No
completely
question
different
about that.
realities, completely different activity.
Yeah, absolutely.
But speaking of activity, big news when I saw the email that Chris had sent out first and foremost. Then I saw the reel. Chris, do you want to announce what's going on? Because I, for one, am stoked and can't wait to hear you talk about it.
Yeah. So obviously I spent Luke, I don't know, it's probably just me, but my feedback is
Oh, is it really?
Yeah. So there you go. Sorry. So I jumped back into I obviously spent years and years of the foreclosure sales from basically 2000 to 2018 is kind of when I started going more direct to seller, and that's only because the foreclosures had dried up. So I spent a good 18 years of foreclosures, probably over 10,000 houses purchased. But as markets change, you have to, change. And obviously thank goodness I did, because imagine when COVID happened and you couldn't even foreclose on anybody for a while, right? There were zero foreclosures. And then obviously after COVID, there was a bunch of foreclosure bailouts because of, job loss and the pandemic and all that kind of stuff. So really there was a time frame, call it 2020 all the way to 2023, where there were almost no foreclosures. But we've definitely seen a uptick. Obviously, people not having jobs. Obviously, if you do an FHA loan and you put 3.5% down, you don't really have the ability to sell the house on the back end when you just have 3.5% down, right? There's no money for rehab, or fix up, because yes, hopefully they bought it in a good condition, but they bring in their 2 or 3 dogs and the dogs pee on the carpet, and all the stuff that we know happens with families, spill the red wine on the carpet, whatever you end up doing. And then obviously there's the agent commissions and the closing costs, which, I don't know what you guys calculate, but I kind of usually say it's between 4 and 5% minimum to, be able to sell your house. So
well, and
we run it at 6.
Yeah. And can I just stir the pot here too? I would love for all the agents that put out that stupid phrase to get people in their houses. What was it? Date the rate, marry the house.
Yeah.
Where are they now? Because if these people need to sell, might they offer no commission, right?
Yeah.
To be able to help these people sell? Because if you're prognosticating on what's going to happen in the future with interest rates, they'll always go down, it won't always be like this. How could you possibly predict that? And I know that there's a certain amount of agents that are going to say, well, you guys, I was telling my clients, if you're not planning on staying there for 5 to 7 years, don't buy it regardless. The interest rate, is one thing. But even with the buy down rates, like the 3, 4, 5 year buy down rates, and now they're rejiggering, like they're upping. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but even when that was happening, I was like, this isn't solid professional advice that I would be giving to homeowners. And look where that landed us now.
Yeah, well, if you look at the whole the rate whole thing that really came out after the slowdown of the summer of 2022, you've seen everybody in the mortgage industry says you really need to get below a full point, right, to make it worth your while. So if you're at 7, you got to get to 6. And we saw 6 or under 6 for maybe 6 weeks here in the beginning of 2026. And then it was gone as soon as the first bomb went across.
Yeah. So that's led to more people in foreclosure. Short sales are actually going up for those of us that have been around long enough to remember what those are and have been through the Vietnam of
Yeah.
distressed properties. But what are you seeing as far as that go, Chris, when people are reaching out to their banks to try to solve it before it actually goes to the auction steps?
So I definitely do my share, and I reach out to agents on the agent outreach, like, hey, can you, like, anybody wants to sell? So I offer on all of them, like, hey, I'll give you, and I tell my agent or the agents that kind of reach out to me, I'm like, hey, you know what? Let me just throw the investor offer in there. At least you know what the bank's going to come back. They might not take my 240 on 300 offer, but they may come back at 358. But at least you as the agent know when buyers are coming through, at least where you kind of need to, get it submitted at. So you don't waste the seller's time, the buyer's agent's time. I mean, as part of the foreclosure like business that I used to do a bunch of is, hey, let's just say you're the buyer and you can't get it bought at the short sale, but it ends up at the foreclosure steps and maybe to that thing where it's a $300,000 house, short sale offer 240 doesn't get accepted, and then they open it at 220 at foreclosure sale.
Right.
I mean, it happens all the time. And I reach out and like, hey, we'll buy it for you and sell it to your buyer. And we just charge a 3% commission, but we'll go acquire it and then sell it to your customer. And then you as a buyer agent still get paid.
Right. So. Exactly. Yeah. So I really like how you highlighted that instead of just waiting until it goes to the auction steps, we as investors can interject ourselves, and actually by interjecting ourselves are not only helping the agents, the homeowners, us ourselves as well, obviously, but be able to be there throughout the entire process instead of just waiting to the auction steps, and knowing that helping the homeowners, and they know that they have a resource that's trying to get them to save their house as well, before it actually goes to auction.
And I mean, just having the information of like, hey, okay, the bank isn't going to accept for 240, but they'll accept 258. I cancel my offer, but the next person, at least, maybe they can put a deal together, right?
So there's, and that being said, Chris, there's a lot of agents and investors listening to this probably that have maybe never done a foreclosure in their life, and now seeing that foreclosure rates are going up a little bit. What is the easiest way to explain the process, and then like how you're involved when you say like you can acquire for them at courthouse steps? Like walk us through administratively what that looks like.
Yeah. So once a trustor goes into default, the bank puts out a 90-day notice. Now, the house can postpone. I mean, they can go into bankruptcy that could postpone the sale. They could go into a modification agreement that could postpone the sale. And when they actually enter that modification agreement, people don't realize that, okay, you came current, you did this modification agreement with the bank. They don't get rid of the foreclosure sale. They've already paid all the fees to start the foreclosure sale, and they just keep postponing it and keep postponing it. And then the second, if you get don't make a payment on time, they're literally still in the foreclosure process and sell it the next time it comes up. So, so the bank makes the notice. The day before the actual sale, there is an opening bid set. Now, banks aren't policed by anybody, so it's supposed to be by 9 a.m., but doesn't necessarily mean that it's actually going to happen at 9 a.m. because there was a drop bid today, 0 bid yesterday, 0 bid this morning, house went to auction. Well, we call that a drop bid. And then you're just kind of like, all right, this thing's opening at 227, but it's worth 350. The lucky thing, it's on MLS. So you got some MLS pictures to like, oh, at least I don't have to drive it because here it is on MLS. I can at least take a look at it. But, like I said, so the courthouse is a little squirrely. You don't get title insurance. It's a little risky here and there, but if you know what you're doing, you can definitely get some deals.
All right.
Chris, how competitive would you say it is now versus, let's just say 10 years ago and then versus 20 years ago?
20 years ago, there was just this little group of us, but this little group of us, none of us liked each other. Right. So it was literally a little bit of a gang war, if you will, just like nobody wanted anybody else to get a deal because there were lawsuits flying back and forth. So like you felt like if they got a deal, they were just using that money to lawyer back up against you. So it was a little bit was a little bit litigious back then.
A little bit.
I
Then
feel
you-
like that's how TV is right now.
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like the TV companies that are out there, it's like if anybody else tries to enter, they're getting annihilated extremely quickly, and it's on
Yeah.
purpose.
Yeah, no, they definitely, if they find out someone else's, and I've heard some of this, someone else enters the TV market, they're like, oh, you're competing against like the TV guys that have been in the old school. And one of those TV guys was at Trustee sale for a long time. So he's like, I'll overpay just to make sure they don't get a deal. So
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, man.
So if that said, if I'm a new agent, I'm a new investor, I don't want to go down to the courthouse steps. I don't know how all this works. I don't want to be shouldered out of, the frat that's down there. How do we work through you guys, like you and what you do to be able to buy a property that I've been watching?
Yeah, so that's what we do. We ran a bid service forever. When I was kind of pre-08, we were just down there bidding on our own behalf and then wholesaling. When there's 1,000 houses scheduled a day and, maybe 150 actually go to sale that day, like I can't bid on that many houses. So we just actually started a bid service, I think it was called TS8 when it first started up. So it was literally like called Trustee Sale 08. So January of 08 when we kind of went back and started bidding. And we just started a bid service. So we actually just, researched the data and, run title reports using our good old friends at Fidelity Title and, do our best to figure out, we drive the properties. I'll give you a little story about somebody that we drive the properties the day of the sale. Someone drove a property 2 days before once and sent in a bid. And I was like, watched the 10 o'clock news that night. And I'm like, I think that's the house that burned down last night.
Oh, no. Oh, wow. Yeah.
So drive the property the day of the sale, not like 2 days before and think your proper report's still regard. I mean, it happened. It like the guy bought the house and it was like, I'm like, have you seen your house? Because actually, I don't think they didn't buy through me. They just went and bid on themselves and sent me the trustee sale. And I'm like,
your house isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
got a big hole in the roof.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
So, but yeah, we just try to make it. And this time of year, who wants to go down to the trustee? It's right on the courthouse steps, rain, shine. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's right now it's blazing hot. And then in December, like, I don't know if anybody's walked to like a Suns game in December. The wind can whip through those buildings and like it could be 40 degrees out and feel like 30 degrees out. And we're down there with our mitts on and just like bidding on houses.
Yep.
But Chris, I'm downtown Prescott right now. Can I just go right up to the courthouse and try to buy a house that way?
Yeah, you can literally go. Here, I'm just gonna.
You don't have to get pre-approved. You don't have to anything like that, or you do?
No, you just got to get a $10,000 cashier's check.
And that probably goes hard immediately, right?
Oh yeah, it's that you give them the check and it's over.
You better close on that thing.
Yeah.
Let me know if this comes up. I mean, you could do this and get your own subscription, and I mean, this is pretty easy to figure out. Is it going to come up? Yes, no.
It's looking like
Tell me
it's
if you
trying
see
to.
anything.
Property radar is
Okay.
on the screen. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So here's today, Pinell County. There was this cute little house in Maricopa right here, 1,500 square feet, that had an opening bid of 2013. Let's just say, let's just go down to loose neck of the woods, Yavapai County.
Yavapai.
There was this cute little guy in Prescott, 1,300 square foot, estimated value 404, that had a 192,976.30 bid on it.
Come on, Chris. You got to buy it and send it to me. I'll pay you a quick $15K, all right?
There we go.
It happened right there at 120 South Cortez in Prescott, right at the courthouse.
What was the address of the property?
1214 North Lewis. Is it Lois?
Oh, Lewis. I just bought one right next to that.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
Oh, Lois. Yeah.
Yeah, Lois. So,
Yeah.
I mean, someone probably else came to bid on it, but you could have, the
You
starting
said
bid would have,
1214, Lois?
yeah.
I just bought 1100, Lois, last week.
Well, you could have bid on this one today while you're up there.
There you go.
That's awesome.
Well, and to Luke's point too, he was joking, but as far as like, okay, the upsides versus the downsides of buying a pre-foreclosure or foreclosure from auction, right? So I don't get a title report. I have to close on it right away. So there is some risk involved, but what is the upside of being able to buy a house at auction?
So I bought one last week out in Mesa and Dolphin. We bid on it. It was
Hey,
vacant.
Luke, can
Yeah.
you mute yourself again? Thank you.
So we bought it. Literally, that's the one that I did the reel and walked in, and then I had to like pause the reel because I had to go change the locks and then walk through. But you can literally buy it, close on it the next day, and start rehabbing. Like if you had to get your crew, you had a crew, and you're just looking for deals and you just haven't found one, you could just use that as an option and bid on the vacant properties, and you literally can start working on it tomorrow.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and I like too with pre-foreclosures and with foreclosures, you just get more at bats, right? And it's like you can follow them through the process. If they're on MLS, even better. Like you said, you can drive them. But I like the immediacy of it. And I also like the fact that it's so cut and dry. And okay, let's all just admit that there is something about the bidding of it that you're like, I want this freaking thing. We have our number, but man, we're human, right? And there is something about being able to have that sort of environment where we're not personally doing it. Chris's company is doing it, but being able to bid on something and actually get it quickly and start the rehab as well, rather than waiting months to get something off of MLS or wholesalers. The pricing might not work.
Have you guys seen the movie Happy Gilmore?
Yes.
Yeah.
I always think about when the grandma's house gets auctioned off to Shooter McGavin.
Can the editor put that in here?
That's literally just what I think of every time I think of somebody buying something at the courthouse.
Yeah.
Well, obviously the courthouse is scary for a lot of people just because you do have to get the 10,000 non-refundable. You do have to, you don't get title insurance. I mean, if you go down there and bid on a second and don't know what the title position and you could literally lose $10,000 to $100,000 like instantly. So that's what kind of makes it easier for somebody, a guy like myself that has done 10,000 of these. It's easier peace of mind that, hey, let Chris do it. He knows what he's doing. He's not going to make a mistake, and not that I haven't made a mistake or two, but
Chris, no, you haven't.
Chris is AI.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely a way to, especially as more and more, come up, it's definitely a way to get deals. And like I said, you can track that. Like you might be doing a door knocking business or a pre-foreclosure business, and you might have a buyer already set up, and the condition of the house because you walked through it with the seller. Right. You gotta preview that, like us foreclosure guys, like we're usually sometimes looking through the window. We don't have a walkthrough with the seller. So you could definitely get, deals that you may have more insight to that didn't work out all the way through the pre-foreclosure process, but let me bid on it at the foreclosure sales.
Exactly. Well, and two, with you were saying, we're going to see more what is your prediction, if you were to have one, about what we might see over the next, let's even just say 12 months?
Well, I mean, obviously the job market's not like everybody's saying AI is going to take everybody's job. The job market's not obviously it's not terrible, but it's not awesome. Right. So as people, lose their jobs or, obviously divorce rate in Arizona, that's another big piece of foreclosures is right. Like Tracy, you and I are married and we get divorced. And we just don't want to talk to each other. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And that's what happens. Right. So I've literally had people I don't care if it goes to foreclosure. I am not signing anything. And so that's what ends up happening is, these people just don't want to talk and it just goes to foreclosure. So.
Right. And there's always there's always a certain amount of it, for those of you that haven't done pre-foreclosures or foreclosures before, to Chris's point, there's always life events happening. And these folks are typically going to channel through an agent first because that's the most obvious. And then once their notice of trustee sale is posted, they're going to get door knocked by people that are in the community that have done this before. And I think that there is a really huge value add as investors that we can be a resource to these folks and say, listen, here's your options. Here's what you can do if you need an attorney, moving company, divorce attorney. If you don't want to talk to her and she's living on the other side of the house, I get it, but sign here, let me help you guys. But also be able to see them through the entire process. And it's not every investor that's able to say that they have those tools available in their toolbox. And in the instance where they do actually go to auction, that we, have the ability to acquire the house and hopefully do cash for keys or work out something with the sellers had they not already vacated. So if you're thinking, my 2 cents is, if you're thinking about pre-foreclosures or foreclosures, I've always really liked them. I probably have a little bit of nostalgia because that's where I cut my teeth in this business. But man, you can just get some amazing deals. I think that it's just a really valuable skill set to have. And if you're thinking, should I do any pre-foreclosure? Should I think about it? Perhaps take this as your sign.
Yeah. And what's great about the trustee sales is, like, you have, all these hard money lenders that have gotten in the space, but there's very few that'll actually, fund at auction. And so that's what kind of is a piece for me. Like, you got some lenders that are like, I'll give you a 9.9 and a point, right? Well, I can't compete with that because I pay my guys 10. So, but like, they also they want the 3 last spreadsheets of the deals you did and all this. And, they run your credit and they want the app filled out. Me, I'm just like, I'll fund for you tomorrow. So if you want to bid through me, I can fund. So.
Yeah. No, and I don't think people realize how valuable that really is, because the auction process doesn't care. You don't pay, it's gone, right?
Yeah. You lose your 10,000.
Yep. There's no, hey, I didn't realize that's how it's it. Well, too bad. Yep.
Hey, this is my first time buying. Sorry.
Right.
You're like, well, you probably won't be back then.
Thanks for the deposit. Yep. Well, what other words of wisdom would you give, Chris, for people that are thinking about, seeing short sales and foreclosures come on the rise, that are curious about how to get into it, or like how to contact you and be able to step into this?
If you're interested, I'm actually going to do like a video where I walk through like the due diligence process and all that tomorrow at like 2:00. So if you're interested in that, just reach out to me. I'll send you a link. I'm just going to do it on Zoom. If you see this down the road, reach out to me. I probably have that same recording that I'm going to do tomorrow that I can send you. But it's just another tool, right? Like, we always talk about, like, even on the pre-foreclosure, we're talking about people that, they make the wholesale offer, then we can list the property. Maybe we throw it on an ovation, whatever the tools we have out there, like, you got the seller, make a deal work, right? Same thing. This is just another tool that, like, okay, I can just watch the auction properties. Let's just say you're working the East Valley. There's probably 5 to 6 East Valleys. Maybe you just be like, oh, I know that neighborhood really well. I flipped one just in that neighborhood. Just like, Luke is talking about the one that is a block away from him on the same street. He knows exactly what that's going to be worth. He knows exactly what it's going to cost to rehab. Like, the ability for him to do one a block away, like, Luke would have probably given me if I would have been up in Yavapai. I'm only currently doing Padel and Maricopa, but Luke would have been like, yeah, that's a good deal at this price.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So
maybe I need to start sending Luke the foreclosure list.
Let's go. Let's do this. I'm up here every week anyway.
Well, I think that this is intriguing, because people for how many years have been saying we're going to crash, foreclosures are up. But when you look at the difference between when we actually had a peak of foreclosures versus where we are now, that delta is humongous. But that's not to say it's not important to watch the trend of where foreclosures are going, because it speaks to affordability. Like you said, people that have been in their houses since 2022, 2023, that might not have any equity at all, divorces, these sort of things. So I don't want to sound like it's like I'm excited for anybody to go into foreclosure, not at all in the least bit. But I do think it is worthy of paying attention to, because we might see more of it. And for those of you that want to be well tooled to be able to help these homeowners and, you know, add this as a profit center to your existing business, I think it's a very worthy education.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks for jumping on, guys. I think we actually got Jack dialed in and down for next week. I mean, Luke, I'm gonna leave it
I'm
up
not
to
falling
you.
for it.
You need to egg him on, Luke. Make sure that he's there.
Oh, trust me, I do. I do.
Do I need to get in his DMs too? Come on.
Exactly.
Come
Absolutely,
on.
yes. Yeah. Maybe I have to tell him I'll take him to a Steelers game this year.
Jack does exist, you guys. We promise. We promise.
Heck
So,
yeah.
and then we are back. The Phoenix Re is back the third Tuesday of September. We are actually going to do a whole luxury panel. I forget the agent's name that just sold the $40 million house. They're coming. Darren Tackett's coming. Brian Norris coming. A lot of our favorites are coming. And that's September 15th. It'll be in the big room over at Orange Tree Country Club. So definitely one you don't want to miss.
Well, Chris, you proposed we go down to the auction step. So Luke and I might hold you to that. I think it'd be a great podcast.
Yeah, no, we let's wait till it dips to like in the 105 range. We'll go get I'll bring my Starlink. I'll set it up on the table, and we'll just run a straight podcast with all three of us around the courthouse tables.
Maybe you guys should let us know in the comments. Should we go down to the courthouse and do our podcast?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I like it. Let's make it happen.
Let's do it.
All right, see you guys.
See ya.
Hey, thanks for watching that episode. And this is the start of your real estate journey. There's over 100 episodes and a bunch of playlists. And please hit subscribe before you move on to the next video.